Hi guys, welcome back. This is now issue 112 of Build the Back to the Future DeLorean. Okay, so again, I think it's going to be fairly... I'm not sure actually. I've just seen a lot of small parts. I was going to say a fairly quick issue because this is actually really light and there's not much to it. But I can actually see quite a few small parts in there. So I think that will be... I don't know, we'll see. Only one way to find out in there, and let's build it. So we're going to be working more on the reactor platform, as you've probably guessed. So because we've got a lot of space to fill up on that platform, there's lots of holes where screws are going to go through. So yeah, without further ado, let's go down and we'll crack on with the build. Okay, so here it is. I'm just going to open this. This one hasn't got a pull tab. Some of them have like adhesive, some of them are like heat sealed. So I'm going to crack this open and then we'll check off the parts and start building. Yeah, there's quite a few little small parts there, so it should make a good build this week. Okay, so yeah, again, it just says we've got reactor components. It doesn't name them, so it's going to be anyone's guess what they're supposed to be. I'm not an expert on the DeLorean. Obviously I know about the DeLorean, but I don't know all the technical stuff about the DeLorean. I know it from the film, and that's as far as it goes. Okay, so I think that's everything. I'm just going to keep this bag to the side for the moment. Okay, so all it says, as I say, is reactor components, so it's going to be a guess. Part A is this piece here, silver, and it's made of plastic. I'll bring you in so you can see. There you go. So it's this plastic part here. It looks to have two locating pins at the bottom and a hole in the centre, and that is plastic. Part B is what looks like a flexi hose, but it's not flexible. That's rigid. Okay, and it's got two locating pegs either side of that pipe. So that's part B. C is this part here, I believe, or have I got it? Hang on, let me just check this. Okay, this is part B, sorry. C. Okay, and it's got the four holes either side. It looks like a bit of a roundabout. And then on the back you've got two locating pins. Okay, so that's part C. D is then this part, which I assume is going to fit onto the top of that. E are these two silver parts here. Okay, again made of plastic, nice finish, and they've both got locating pins at the bottom and they do look identical. F is this pipe, and this has been obviously painted, and that's a really nice effect actually. I really like that, the black and orange there. And it looks like they've sort of done almost like a dry brush technique just to pick up the detail there on the ridges of the actual pipe. So yeah, that looks nice. One side's got a keyway with a hole in, the other side is plain. Okay, we've got 12G, which is this part here. And it's this back piece of plastic with a pin that comes out from there. You've got a locating pin at the bottom, and that side is just a dead end. 12H is this part here, which is basically the same as what we just had. In fact, it is the same as what we've just had. It's identical, except this one has wires attached to the end, rather than it just being blank. And then on this end, we've got this black piece here with 2 screw holes in it, and no locating pin on that one. And we've got, oh good, we have got them. We've got a separator, top and bottom. Okay. And then we've got some screws, and I think these are new screws, you know. AP, we've got 5 of those. We've got some BP screws, obviously we've had them before. We've got some SM screws. I've never heard of SM before. Perhaps we did, maybe we used them once, but I think they're quite new. Well, I think they're new. I don't think I've used them before. So as normal, we're going to just put the screws in the pot so they're ready at our disposal when we need them. Okay, and there we go. Right, and then all we need now is the platform that we worked on from the last issue. I'm just going to move the parts out of the way. There we go. And then we can start. So, step 1. Okay, that's interesting. Gently untwist the wires. Okay, so it wants us to take this part. This is interesting. So I'm going to put this aside for the moment. This might be quite fiddly. So this part here with the wires, twisted wires, I'm just going to marry them up. So about there. About halfway, it wants us to untwist them. Okay, and then it wants us to lay them into this separator. So I'm just trying to get this orientation right. Now I'm going to use tweezers. Now this is where you might all be laughing at me. A lot of you might just whack the wires in any old way. There is actually, I'm going to bring you even closer. They do have colours. They seem to be in a certain colour order. So I'm going to attempt to do that. If I can. I mean, this is really fiddly. It might not be worth doing that, but I think I'm going to give it a good go. So starting from the edge, furthest away here, it wants a yellow wire. So yellow, then it wants a red. I'm just going to organise them in my hand first. Then it wants a blue. Ah, there you go, and a black. I think this might work out okay. I keep stabbing myself with these tweezers as well. They're really sharp at the end. Then we want a red, 2 blues, and another red. Look at that. So I'm going to try and get these all in their orders. Now, as I say, you don't have to do this. But I like to do it as the magazine is stating to do it. And I've done that with the rest of the build, all the wires we did in the dashboard. Okay, so I think they're all in now. So we've got yellow, a red wire, a blue wire, black, red, blue, blue, red. Yeah, but I'm happy with that. So once we've done that, we're then going to pop the top part of the separator and just pop it on the top. And that was easier said than done. And we can tidy these up later on if need be, depending on where they're going to go. So that's what it should look like. Yep. Okay, so now we're going to take our reactor platform, and it's going to screw into these 2 holes here. You've got a screw there, a screw hole there, and one there. So with the pipe towards you and this black part on the other side here, we're going to lay that onto there. Line up those holes, and we're going to use SM screws to secure that into place. I'm hoping I've got the right screwdriver bit on here. Okay, so I'm just going to move you for a minute just while I get this screw in. Well, I've got one in. Sorry about moving the camera. 2. There we go, and that has gone in really nicely. So, we show something that looks like that. So we've got the pipe this side, okay, and then we've got the other loose bit with the black connector coming over the back. I expect possibly this may go on the bulkhead, but I'm not sure. Okay, so this black pipe here, we need to bring this round, and it's going to fit into this red piece here. So you'll note that you've got a hole at the top, and you've also got a hole just down here on the actual platform itself. These two pins are going to line up. So obviously this pin up here will go in this top hole, and then this pin will go in the bottom hole. And I'll see how that feels and decide whether I need to add some glue. Okay, I feel I may need to loosen this and bring a little bit more wire through. The picture did show to sort of do it halfway, but I'm finding it a bit tight. So I'm just going to bring a bit more through. That should be enough, and then just tighten them up again. That's much better. And then I'm going to line those two up. Okay, and that just sits like that. That is a little bit of a funny angle. But that's just the way it naturally wants to sit. So I'm happy with that. Okay, the next part is to take part A and push that into place. Okay. It's actually going to go here. You've got a hole and two locating pins either side. Remember I said we had two locating pins on this. That's just going to go directly there. And these wires are going to sort of tuck behind that box. And I'm just going to check this the other way. I don't think there is an orientation for this. It will go in either way. Okay, so that's just going to fit on there, and then we're going to fit that in with an AP screw. I just need to change my bit. And it's going to go in the hole. You can tell which hole it is anyway, because you can see the locating pegs just starting to show through there. And then with an AP screw, just tighten that up, just till it wants to stop. There we go, perfect. And that is that component now installed. So moving on, again with more AP screws, we're now going to be bending this wire just round here slightly. We're going to want these two holes here. You've got one here with a locating peg there. Yep, that's where these silver parts are going to fit. You see you've got the locating peg on there and the hole. So we're just going to line that up. Line the locating peg up, hold that in place, and then we're going to put a screw through there. We're going to be using AP screws. And I'm just lining the screw up. Okay, so that is one in, and then I'm just going to do the same for the other one. Again, I'm going to pop the locating pin in the relevant hole, and then with another AP screw, just hold that down with my finger. That's lined up really nicely, you can see there, and then just put the AP screw through to secure that into place. That's a little bit loose, so I'm going to go a bit more on that. I'm happy with that. They're both solid. Okay, so that's what we look like so far. Okay. Next step is to fix part 12F into place as shown. Okay, I see. So we want this pipe here, and you see you've got a keyway there with a hole in. You can see that just on there. You've got the same mirror image. You've got the little keyway there. So this is going to go on with the pipe going over this red part. And obviously it will only go on one way because it will fit and lock into place. It won't want to go left and right, but if you put it in the wrong way, it's just not going to happen. So I think this might be quite difficult actually to get this on, but we'll see. We're going to use a BP screw for fitting this time, and I might need to change my screwdriver again. Yeah, that's an AP that's gone wandering. Okay, so yeah, just line that up on the key. It's going to be really tough, I think, to sort of hold this and screw it in at the same time. Sorry if this is off camera. So line that up. It is on. I think the best thing to do is I'm just sort of using my chest at the same time to hold the back of this platform, and then getting the screw in. Okay, yeah, and that is now solid. So tricky step, but you'll probably find your own way of doing that anyway, whatever's easiest for you. Next we're going to fit part G in place. So it's the blank piece of pipe, and it's going to fit in the same way as we fit this first piece. So you've got the hole on the top there, and you've also got the larger hole just at the back there. Line them two up. And pop that in. And there we have it. I don't need to apply glue because that actually sort of clicked in quite nicely. Okay, next we want these two parts here. This part, and then obviously this black pipe. Now I'm going to try and show this off if I can. Yeah, look at that. So on this piece you can see you've got a hole just to the left of that screw post. We're going to put the curved section of this pipe, which is this bit here. You see that pin? That is going to sit in that hole. And it is moving, but I think that's okay. Yeah, as I thought. So with that in place, ooh, don't really know how to. Sorry, I'm off camera. I don't know how to hold that. I'm going to hold it like that. That obviously, say, moves, but I think that'll be fine because what we're going to do now. I'm just checking this part. Make sure there's no orientation to it, which there isn't. We're going to place this over the top. Okay. So with that done, I don't think that can come out of there now. It's loose, but it's lodged into place. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Right, let's rewind. No, we don't need to rewind, sorry, because that is the top. I was going to say there is a direction to this, because obviously you've got two locating pins at the bottom, but that is judged by where this pipe connects anyway. And that is going to go on this raised hole here. Sorry, there. You've got the raised hole, and then the two locating pins will go either side. So I'm going to carefully pop that onto there. Okay, and then this other end of the pipe is going to go into this hole just there. And to be honest, that will just fit into place anyway, because when you move it up, there you go, it will just fit. So I'm happy with that. That's actually quite firm. And then with that in and your finger on there, carefully flip the assembly over, and we're going to put a BP screw through there to keep all that in place. Lovely. And that is that done. I think that's in okay. You could add a touch of glue there if you wanted to, I suppose, but that does seem to be in quite firmly. In fact, the touch of glue would be better at the bottom here. You can just see it protruding through there, so actually I am going to do that just to be extra sure. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue on this bag, and I'm a bit more prepared now. I've got some cocktail sticks, so I'm just going to get a little bit on the ends of the cocktail stick, and I'm just going to paint a little bit on the other end of the pipe, just so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so please forgive this edit. This is I'll add this on the end because I don't want to spoil it. I actually did miss a step in the magazine because of the way the magazine was laid out. I sort of followed it along, and there was a bit I missed out. Nothing major, and it's something we can do now. So it's to do with this black part here. Okay, I thought perhaps that's stuck on the bulkhead or something. It doesn't. Right before, well, right after we added this pipe in here, it wants us to secure this to the top of the silver box with 2 AP screws. So we're going to do that now. So all you need to do is fold that back, place it on the top there, and then line those 2 holes up. And then with an AP screw, it's going to get one in and the other one in. And there we go, that is in quite nice and firmly, and it just wants us to push that down. Well, I'm just following the picture of how the wire looks. Okay, and then we should have something that looks like that. Okay, so that was it for issue 112. Sorry about the little edit at the end. My mistake. Completely scanned past that instruction. It was just a small bit at the top. and I missed that bit and moved on to the next bit. So it was my fault, but we have done it, and it was something we could do afterwards. So it wasn't imperative to do it at the time it's asking us to do it. So that's all good. So yeah, it wasn't the quick issue I thought it might have been. Very fiddly. Especially the beginning when we had to separate the wires and put them into that separator. Now, obviously, I probably made it a bit more complicated because I was being fussy and putting the wires in the correct colours I could see on the magazine. But I think it does matter because, as you may know, like when you build the DeLorean, you've got parts that are yellow, which we're working on, and then obviously the rest of it's grey. So it highlights the parts, as all of you that build this know. So it's highlighted in yellow. But when it came to the wiring, that was actually in colour. So that's why I figured that it, it was specific, and we had to put them in the right colours. I mean, to be honest, it probably doesn't make a lot of difference. It's very, very minute detail. You probably wouldn't even notice looking at that. But I did because I just like to do it properly. So yeah, anyway. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe. That means a lot. Thank you so much. And if you wish to buy me a coffee, there is a link in the description below. But until next week, take care. Na, 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 na. Ho, 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 Horlicks. Na, 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 na. Ho, 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 Horlicks. Ho, 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 Horlicks.